Good evening, and welcome to Scott's virtual Pan-Epic comedy show. Introducing the star of the show, you may know him as a friend, or a family member, or some guy from work, but probably not anything else because he's not a well-known comedian yet. Give it up for Scott Miller. Thank you. Thank you. How's everybody doing? This is cool. I don't know why I said how's everybody doing because nobody can respond to me. But this is cool because I've never done Facebook Live before. Um, yeah, but thank you all for watching. Not that you really have anything else to do this month. Um, I don't have any idea what to expect from this. It's probably going to be a little weird just telling jokes into the abyss of technology and hoping people at home are laughing. Although I did see one comment earlier that somebody said they needed this comedy show. So just know that this comedy show needs you too, because if you all weren't here, then I would just be talking to no one, which would probably concern a lot of people for a lot of reasons. But yeah, so doing it online does take away a lot of the normal pressure of performing because I could totally bomb. But because you all are nice people, I'm sure after it's done, you're going to tell me I did a great job no matter how I actually did. But yeah, I do have a live studio audience of 6 people. Yeah, I'm set up on my fiance's patio. We're all being responsible. Don't worry. Yeah, we've got some family members here. Yeah, and like I said, I've never used Facebook Live before. One thing that's cool, I know I mentioned the comment that I just saw, but yeah, you all can leave comments, and I may or may not see them as I'm going. Hopefully, I'll see them, but maybe that can be an interesting chance for some audience interaction if there's a joke you really like, or if you want to heckle me, or if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about. I'll see what I can do. So yeah, part of why I decided to do this is because I feel like while it's important to stay up to date and informed about what's going on, I also think it's important just for our mental health to be able to separate from it and focus on something more positive, even if it's just for a short period of time. So if you go on social media now, everybody's talking about the coronavirus. If you turn on the TV, every news station is talking about the coronavirus or Tom Brady, and it's a lot to handle. I mean, he left New England after 20 years. But yeah, today would have actually been opening day for Major League Baseball, so I'm gonna still representing the Orioles on this opening day. The best part about today not being opening day is that the Orioles couldn't lose, so they're still tied for first place. And I bet, based on how things are going, they'll still be tied for first place 2 months from now. So there's a lot of hope still in here. Well, I guess I'm not in Baltimore now, but among Baltimore fans, there's a lot of hope. Yeah, but I think we need laughs now more than ever. So hopefully this can bring a little sanity to all the madness that's happening in the world. I'll be honest, when I first started hearing news about all of this, I was one of those people who thought we were overreacting. I said all of the things that we now know are false. It's just a bad cold. I'm healthy, so I don't have anything to worry about. Tom Brady is definitely retiring. I said all of those things. And that just goes to show that even the smartest, coolest, most attractive people can be wrong sometimes. So with that said, I do still think some people are overreacting. I mean, there's no reason why toilet paper should be impossible to find. Like cough medicine, I would understand because the coronavirus makes you cough. Hand sanitizer makes sense because that can prevent it from spreading. But this pandemic isn't going to expedite your bowel movements. Like having quicker and easier access to butt cleanliness isn't part of the CDC recommendations. It might stop the spread of pink eye, but not the coronavirus. People are treating this like the apocalypse. Don't worry, there's not an asteroid heading for Earth. And even if there was, you're still setting the bar very high for how helpful toilet paper would be in that situation. But that's all I'm going to say about it. I know I literally just said we need to focus on different things, and all I've talked about so far is the coronavirus. So without further ado, here are some jokes about different things. So still on the topic of sickness, I was sick one time, so I went to urgent care, and I had to wait 2 hours before I was finally called back to see a doctor. So what I learned is that if you need care that you anticipate will become urgent in 2 hours, I highly recommend urgent care. When we're sick, we say we're catching a cold or catching the flu. Catching is always the verb that we use, which makes it sound a lot more fun than it is. Hey, you want to play catch? Fever, runny nose, whooping cough. I wonder if people who have whooping cough are actually as enthusiastic as the name leads us to believe. Are they lying in bed just like, whoop whoop? I actually was in, someone said they love hearing the giggling in the background. So this is cool. I like doing this one. Yeah. Yeah, but so I was actually in Walmart a couple weeks ago, and I sneezed, and this girl walking by me just pointed and said, "Coronavirus." So that can just be another example of how people are overreacting, because 14 days have passed since then, and I don't have any other symptoms, so we're good. I do feel like I'm pretty healthy overall. I don't feel like I'm overweight, but I will say that the first time my cat decided that my bare stomach was soft enough to knead on definitely led me to question the number of cookies I eat on a daily basis. If you've ever wondered what it looks like when the devil manifests himself inside of a living creature, just take your cat to the vet. You'll see. I wonder what God was thinking when he decided that cats would bathe by licking themselves. Like almost every other animal bathes in water, right? Like people, dogs, even birds have bird baths. So was God just like, away with the soap and water? Cats will be hygienic by licking the dirt off of themselves. Their tongues will be made of Lysol and will kill 99.9% of germs. I also think God programmed every woman's brain with a built-in puppy radar. Like every time I've ever been in the presence of a woman and a puppy enters a 100-foot radius of where we are, doesn't matter what we're doing, this is what happens. So like I was out at the store and I saw this cute dress and I just had to have it. But then puppy? It is truly perplexing. Got some sound effects set up for this. Yeah, I know what the bad jokes are. Don't worry, I'm ready. Another thing about women, specifically millennial women and younger, is that I've noticed that they love taking selfies, but they never like the selfies that they take. They'll be like, "Come here, babe." Click. "Oh no, I don't like that. Come here again." How do you not like it? You literally saw the picture you were taking as you were taking it. The camera showed you in advance exactly what the picture was going to look like. There's no excuse for not liking a selfie. The most adventurous sounding food is wild rice. Like, "Hey man, did you eat that rice for lunch today?" "Hell yeah, it was wild. Like, some of it was white, but some of it wasn't. So it definitely wasn't Republican rice, that's for sure. That would all be white." For the record, I typically prefer that politics stay out of comedy, but if you can't avoid it, you may as well mix in some wild rice to balance it out. Maybe some chicken stock. Mix it all together, you're serving cream of politics for dinner. So, yeah, if we drop another observation I've made, if we drop food on the ground but pick it up quickly, we'll justify eating it by saying 5-second rule, because scientific evidence shows that bacteria only begins to exist on the ground 6 seconds after food is dropped on it. Food courts make it sound like there's some type of criminal justice system in the culinary industry. Like, hey, lettuce, you gave those people E. coli, you're going to food court. You're gonna alleviate this issue. Hold on, where is it?
Lettuce protein.
Hey, meat, you gave those people salmonella, you're going to food court. Your goose is cooked. The term, I'm making myself laugh. The term complimentary breakfast makes it sound like I'm going to start my day with a really uplifting meal. Like my blueberry muffin's just going to look up at me and be like, your eyes are really glowing this morning, Scott. Oh my gosh, thanks, breakfast. That's so complimentary. Sometimes if I'm bored and hungry, I'll make up little jingles in my head about food, and I'll put them to the tune of that song, I Love Rock and Roll. Like I'll be craving candy, and I'll just start singing, I love M&Ms, chocolate in my belly, baby, I love M&Ms. Or I'll be out at a restaurant and smell fried food coming out of the kitchen, and I'll be like, I love onion rings, greasy breaded veggies, baby. I love onion rings. So now the next time you hear that song, you'll be hungry. You're welcome. I was at a banquet one time, you know, because I'm fancy, and there was a water jug that was labeled fresh water. It's a good thing they were specific, because I almost drank from the ocean water jug by accident. I don't know if there are any beer drinkers out there. Yeah, we've got 7 in the studio audience of 7 people. But personally, I think beer kind of just tastes like piss. And before you ask, Scott, how do you know what piss tastes like? I know because I drink it every night with dinner. Just kidding, I drink it with lunch. But if someone were to ask me if I wanted a Corona or a Blue Moon, I would interpret that question to mean, would you prefer your piss with lime or with orange? Anytime I see someone wearing sunglasses inside, I think to myself, that person is an asshole. So you can imagine how conflicted I felt when that time I left my glasses in the car and only had my prescription sunglasses with me when I walked into Subway and couldn't read the menu without them. I just stood there squinting at the menu for a while because I didn't want to be that guy. At one point, I think I did this, where I like pulled my sunglasses on just for a few seconds and I left my hand there so everybody knew that I was just looking at the menu. I didn't usually wear my sunglasses inside. But yeah, as if I was like paranoid that they were all watching me, like as if they were watching and were just like, that guy's an asshole. Oh no, he's just reading. He's fine. Parents always tell their kids not to talk to strangers. The example we always heard when we were younger was if a stranger in a car offers you candy, don't take it. So how is it that they had no issue with the ice cream truck? If a stranger in a car offers you candy, don't take it. But if the stranger is in a musical truck and offers you ice cream, pay him for it. If there are any Harry Potter fans out there, this one's for you. Did you ever stop to question why the Hogwarts staff didn't provide Muggle-born students with any information about how to get onto platform 9 3/4? Like, what person who grew up in the Muggle world would just walk up to a solid brick wall and be like, I bet I need to walk through that. Common sense. All right, so I'm gonna move into a little segment here that's probably gonna be a little embarrassing, but it'll be fun. It's called What Was Scott Thinking? So believe it or not, I wasn't always as cool as I am now. I know. And nowhere was that more evident than on Facebook. So nowadays I try to post things that people want to read, like jokes, sports trivia facts, political commentary, cool things. To show you how I've matured with age, I'm going to read you some old Facebook statuses that I posted at least 10 years ago, and then I'm going to share with you my current analysis of those statuses. I'm also going to wear these cool sunglasses and strike a cool pose when I read them, just so you get a visual of how cool I used to think I was. So these are really things that high school and early college Scott posted on Facebook that my Facebook memories have been kind enough to bring back to my attention. And just know as I'm reading them that I would never say any of these things now. All right, I need to make sure, all right, make sure you can see my pose. Scott Miller is ballin', you dig? Because a 5'7", skinny white high school kid is exactly the person who you would expect to be ballin', and is especially the person who you would expect to double check your understanding of the situation by asking, you dig? Scott Miller is Doo-Doo Bro Sesh Part 2. If you're asking yourself, Scott, what does that mean? I couldn't tell you. Now, there are two components of this status that I want to draw to your attention. The Doo-Doo Bro Sesh is the main focal point, right? At some point, I had a bro sesh that involved doo-doo in some way, which is concerning enough by itself. But this was Doo-Doo Bro Sesh Part 2. It had happened before. And it went so well that the bros decided to do it again. Let me, that one deserves a little. All right, I have these ones pulled up just so because I can't remember how cool I was, so I have to refer back to these. So this next one actually this is a twofer, and you'll understand why when I read them. First one, Scott Miller is pimping the new contact lenses. And then second status, Scott Miller is pimping the fresh haircut. Those statuses lead me to believe that I was unfamiliar at the time with what a pimp actually was. So this is Aunt Kathy says that's where the toilet paper comes in. That is true. All right, this is another twofer. So the first one doesn't even need sunglasses. The first one just says, Scott Miller is very proud of the person he has become. Touching, right? Now later that exact same day, Scott Miller is, oh well, can't win them all. The Giants are dirty girls. Now this is one that I think needs to be broken down piece by piece. The main part of this is that I referred to the New York Giants football team as dirty girls because they won a football game. Now, I would like to think that this was my first step towards becoming a feminist. Hear me out. Football is a game that requires toughness, grit, mental and physical strength. And damn it, they pulled it off the way the dirty girls do. But to me, the more interesting part of this is that this was posted mere hours after I stated that I was proud of the person I had become. So in case you're not sure what irony means, stating that you're proud of the person you've become, and then proceeding shortly after to state that the victorious New York Giants are dirty girls, is a pretty ironic sequence of statements to make. On that day, I should not have been proud of the person I had become. But as I said at the beginning, I don't say these things anymore. So now I can actually be proud without looking back at these statuses. Micah just put a question mark in the chat. Those are the same things that's the same thing I tell myself every time I see any of these statuses come up. Just a question mark. Oh man. Scott Miller is about to cough his balls out. Yeah, I should just apologize to my mom and dad right now for this segment of the show. You really didn't know the true high school student that you were raising. So for the record, I still have both of my balls. So this one might have been a slight overreaction at the time. But I am going to tell you all a story about me that not many people know, because it wasn't something I wanted to share with the world very much. But when I was younger, I had surgery because I had an undescended testicle. And if you're asking yourself, what does that mean? It's exactly what it sounds like. And I'm going to give you a little anatomy lesson real quick. So when boys are born, our balls, actually, we're not born with them where they are as adults. They're kind of in like our lower abdomen area. But then when we hit puberty, they drop into the sacs. Or at least that's what happens for 999 out of every 1,000 children who hit puberty. But if you're that lucky one of them drops on their own, and you get to have a surgeon move the other one down where it's supposed to be. So that's a little fun fact about Scott. It did help though, like if anybody bullied me and you hear like high school kids say, "Oh, what, your balls drop?" I could be like, one of them did. Thank you. But yeah, so this what I saw when I first saw this about to cough his balls out status, I was like, this is other than just it being embarrassing to begin with, it's a little, it touches a little nerve there. And my mom left a comment that says you're grounded. That's fine. It's fine if I'm still grounded. It's from high school. Yeah. So this next one actually is a conversation that happened on Facebook between me and a girl I used to have a crush on in high school. So she posted on my wall and said, "I got some clementines today, and they remind me of you and the good old days, haha." To which I responded, "LOL, I'm glad our memories brightened your clementine experience." I didn't put sunglasses on for that one because there's nothing even to pretend to be cool about that one. So first of all, this is a girl I had a crush on for a while, so I can't help but read this and think that I missed a great opportunity at the time to make a comment about her being my clementine. But second of all, the fact that clementines are the thing that reminded her of me probably highlights why she never became more than a crush. Like if our good old days were centered around clementines, That definitely explains my status in the friend zone. So guys, I'm gonna give you some dating advice, man to man, dual testicle to dual testicle. If there's a girl you like, and you want her to feel that same spark towards you, as soon as Clementine's enter the equation, you're facing an uphill battle. Scott Miller feels so popular. I have plans like every minute of every day this weekend. And you can clearly tell from this segment why I was so popular. So there you have it. This just goes to show that there can still be hope for anybody. So I'm going to move on to my adult sense of humor, because that is, well, really, that's not any less embarrassing. But yes, Mallory, the flirting game was strong. Thank you for noticing. So some of you out there have probably had babies, or enjoy babies, or perhaps you were a baby at one point. Have you ever noticed that as babies get older, people are always like, oh my God, she's gotten so big? Well, what did you expect? I'd be concerned if I heard someone say, she's getting small, are you feeding her? I'm gonna put my glasses back on, because I forgot I took them off to show off how cool I was. I knew a baby one time that was learning how to dance and also happened to enjoy Elton John songs. He was a tiny dancer dancing to Tiny Dancer. I don't have a tattoo, but if I were to get one, you know how sometimes when you go to a venue, they'll stamp the back of your hand? I think I'd want to get one of those venue stamps tattooed onto the back of my hand. People would be like, where were you? Oh, you mean because of this? Let me tell you about this sick concert I went to 15 years ago. Don't worry, Mom, not getting a tattoo. Did any of you ever have a pen pal when you were younger? Like when I was in elementary school, I was assigned a pen pal. It was some kid my age who lived in some other country, and we would just write letters back and forth to each other, which in hindsight is kind of a sketchy practice. It's like, hey stranger, who I think is my age and lives on the other side of the world, but for all any of us know, might actually be a 48-year-old pedophile living in his parents' basement down the street. Here's all the information you need to know about where I live, who my family members are, and what types of things make me happy. Another thing we used to have when I was younger was take your child to work day, which is a good idea in theory, but could easily backfire if the parents don't like their job or work in a job that involves danger. Like, hey champ, you want to come with me to work today? With any luck, you'll end up just as miserable as your old man. Or son, I'm taking you down into the coal mines. Don't worry, it hasn't exploded in years. I don't actually know how coal mines work. That knowledge of coal mines is strictly based on what I've seen in movies. But that's basically always accurate. I feel like the expression killed two birds with one stone has a violent origin story. Like it basically implies that there was once a person trying to kill a bird with a stone, but then a second bird just happened to swoop down at the wrong time, and the guy who tried to stone one bird was like, look at that, killed two birds with one stone. Whoop whoop. That worked out nicely. I like going to bookstores, not because I like to read, but because I like to present myself as an intellectual. Like I'll see someone in a bookstore reading the cover of a book I've never heard of, and I'll be like, that's a good one, highly recommend. And then move on to the next person and be like, you're a fan of young adult novels too. Yeah, they're the best. Yeah, a store employee could walk up to me and be like, you finding everything okay? Yes, everything I could have hoped for is here. I'm actually going to give that one I have a separate sound effect for ones like that. Don't worry, everybody. I don't have the coronavirus, despite what your worries may be on the chat. That was just a regular cough. I am going to get a drink of water, though, because regardless of how healthy you are, water is good for you. That's my health lesson of the day. Drink water. If you hear rustling, the studio audience is moving undercover because it's starting to rain outside. So cyber attacks have become a big problem lately. Like, you know those emails that, you know, they say they're from your mom, and it's just like, hey, check out this link. You won't believe this. And then you click on it, and it gives your computer a virus. I think if I knew how to do that, I'd try to offset some of the negativity by hacking into people's accounts and sending uplifting links. Like, I'd hack into someone's Facebook account and message all their friends, hey, check out this link. You won't believe this. And when they click on it, it just pulls up like a motivational kid president video, or like a puppy, like a video of like cats falling off of things. Their friends will be like, hey man, I think you got hacked. I got this link that doesn't look like it was from you. It's kind of cool though. I'd keep your password. This hacker seems like a cool guy. I think fashionably late is an interesting expression. The next time I host a party and people show up claiming to be fashionably late, I'm gonna be like, I can tell you're late, but did you even look in the mirror before you left? What are you wearing? I learned in driver's ed that we should put our turn signal on 100 feet before we make a turn. So I attached 33 yardsticks and a ruler to the front of my car to tell me when to put my signal on. I also make sure there's always a woman present when I drive, so I know that as soon as she says, puppy, I should put my turn signal on. If we're mad at someone, we might say, I've had it up to here with you, and we'll position our hand in the air at the specific height at which we've had it with them. I think it should work the same way in reverse if we're really pleased with someone. You know, I've really had it down to here with you. You've been a delight. There was one time I pushed open a door. I went to push open a door that was supposed to be a pull door, so it obviously didn't open. And the person behind me was like, I think you have to pull it. Oh, do I? What would I have done without you? I couldn't have figured that one out for myself. I was about to drive back home and grab a sledgehammer as my next option until you swooped in with your door expertise and saved me hundreds of dollars in damages. When our family members get old and they need some assistance with living, we'll say we move them into a home, which to me seems like a very ironic way to phrase it, given that we're literally moving them out of their home into a place they probably don't want to be. So instead of saying we're moving them into a home, we should say we're moving them into seniors college. Because if you think about it, senior living homes and college residence halls are very similar. The residents pay a significant amount of money to live in a room that is much smaller than anywhere they've lived before. At meal times, everyone goes down to the dining hall to eat mediocre food, and the residents who live together often struggle to communicate effectively. The only difference is instead of, what? I didn't hear you. It's, what? I didn't hear you. I may one day regret that. We'll see.
What? I didn't hear you.
Nice, that was a good one. I was driving one time and I missed a turn. So the person I was in the car with asked if I was lost. So I said, a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure I'm on the right career path, feeling really uncertain about the future. So I guess I am lost. Thank you for checking in on me. No, I mean, do you need directions? Really, all I needed was someone to listen. Thank you. Have you ever just had your GPS tell you to proceed to the route? Like, what's the point of the GPS even saying that? I already knew I was supposed to do that. You're the GPS. You're supposed to tell me how to proceed to the route. Earlier this week, I made chicken fajitas for dinner, and the recipe didn't just say, step 1, make chicken fajitas. I was watching a commercial one time for a colon cancer detector. Apparently, if you used it, it was supposed to let you know if you have colon cancer, which is pretty cool. But later on in the commercial, when it was going through its disclaimers, it said, false positive and negative results may occur. So this isn't a colon cancer detector. This is just a machine that has the capability of saying the words, you have colon cancer or you don't have colon cancer, regardless of what your actual colon cancer status is. I could do that. Just ask me if I detect colon cancer and I'll tell you. Just be prepared for some false positive and negative results to occur. So I'm a big fan of Domino's Pizza. I know that's not a popular opinion to have, but their big thing now is that they have that pizza insurance. I saw a Domino's commercial where they were like, if we mess up your order, we'll replace it for you. Well, I would hope so. How is that delivery insurance? That's just regular customer service. Like, how did you run your business before? Like, hi, I'm just calling because I ordered a veggie pizza and you brought me a sausage and pepperoni pizza. I'm a vegetarian, so I can't really eat it. Deal with it. We don't offer insurance yet. I was in Target one time, and I was in the body wash aisle, sniffing the different body washes to figure out which one I liked. And a guy walked up to me and was like, "Excuse me, do you work here?" "Oh yeah, I'm just making sure these body washes smell the way they did when we ordered them." Standard procedure that they have us do during our shifts. Do you ever get roped into buying something off of a salesperson at a mall kiosk? There's one time I was in the mall and this guy started talking to me about this skin product he was selling that was made with real salt from the Dead Sea. Now, I've actually been in the Dead Sea, but in hindsight, that's a detail I probably should have kept to myself at the time. The moment I mentioned this personal connection, I just saw victory in his eyes. I could tell he was just looking at me like, this guy may as well just transfer his entire bank account to me right now. And I did. So as a word of advice, if you get roped into buying something from a mall kiosk salesperson and you don't want to buy it, I would strongly discourage you from saying things that lead them to believe that you were destined to purchase it. Because it will cost you a lot if you don't have the capacity to say no to random people selling you things you don't need. I was at the store and saw that they were selling cargo shorts. I thought about buying them, but I didn't really have much cargo I needed to ship by way of shorts.
Your two balls.
Too soon. Too soon. I got a thank you note one time, and it was a really nice thank you note, so I was like, I should thank them for this. But then I thought, when does it end? Who blesses God when he sneezes? Just food for thought. One of my biggest social media pet peeves is when people put entire concerts on their Snapchat story. Like, who do you think you're doing that for? If anything, that kind of just feels like a slap in the face. It's like, hey, here's a choppy, poor quality video of this concert that I got to go to and you didn't. Just grab an ice cold piss with lime and set aside the next 2 hours to sulk over the concert you wish you were at. Do you ever see those posts that people share on Facebook where they talk about something sad and then they say something like, unfortunately, 98% of my friends won't repost this. Will you? Nope, you're literally telling me that people don't want to post this. Why would that appeal to me? What those posts should say is, this is such a big deal that 98% of my friends will repost this, or else. Then I'd be like, well, crap, I better get right on that. So I have one final segment that I'm going to do, but I figured because this is kind of a unique setup that we have, I don't know if there's anything that people want me to talk about. And you're welcome to put it in the chat, and I'll see if I know about it. By the way, Jenna, Krista loves you laughing.
Oh, thanks. Bless her heart.
So yeah, if you have anything you want me to talk about, just put it in the chat. If you don't, then don't put it in the chat because there isn't anything that you want me to talk about. Hopefully everybody's having a good day, as good as you can be having under the circumstances. And my next segment is just telling a bunch of dad jokes. So the more stuff you put in the chat, the longer it is before you have to suffer through that. More old Facebook statuses. Okay.
Pass on this.
I do have many more old Facebook statuses. I could say a few more of those if we want. So let me, although I have them all written down on a, I'll read you a few other Facebook statuses. I just have to wrote them all down in one spot. I have to find them real quick. Okay. All right. So here's one. I probably should have included this one with the previous segment because it fits right in with the Scott thinking he's cool but actually isn't category. Scott Miller has been popping his collar ever since he can remember. I have the feeling, I think that one might be a song lyric of some kind, but even still, yeah, even still, I don't think that's ever acceptable for anyone to say. Oh, here's another one. Scott Miller just had a sexy workout.
You posted that.
Yes, I did post that. All of these things I posted, and now I have to live with it. And the sad thing is that I'm having all these sexy workouts at the same time that all I have to talk about with women is clementines. So it's really a bad combination. All right, let's see. Oh, here's an interesting one. Scott Miller has cold feet. Literally, where are my slippers?
You're only in third grade when you said that.
You know, I wish I was only in third grade when I said that. Oh, here's one that has a little more of a story that I can tell. Scott Miller seriously doesn't know, and this isn't a Euro Trip reference. So there's a song in the movie Euro Trip called Scotty Doesn't Know. People used to sing that to me all the time before I realized that it was from a movie called Euro Trip. So I would, like, people would keep saying Scotty doesn't know, and I'd be like, what are you talking about? I do know. I know a lot of things. And they'd just be like, oh, Scotty doesn't know. And then they'd be talking about, like, Fiona and me, and I'm like, who's Fiona? It's part of the song. That's the whole, so when I said there was a backstory behind that, that really wasn't a great backstory. That's the whole story. All right. So here's, I think this will be the last Facebook status I do. Oh no, two more. I see two more. Okay. Scott Miller is looking for a lunch partner at school on Mondays and Wednesdays around 1 or Tuesdays and Thursdays around 2. Any takers?
Oh man.
Because if I saw that status, I'd be like, oh, I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, now did you answer that one?
No, not even I would answer.
Yeah, not
that.
even Jenna would be my lunch
No.
partner.
I'd be like, look at this loser looking for a lunch partner.
All right, and here's the last one I'll read. Scott Miller thinks his bronchitis is in the process of sucking it. So I was doing well with that bronchitis. Doing well with that bronchitis. Scotty knows. Thank you, Jen. Scotty does know so much. I needed to hear that right now. All right, let's see. Few people want the dad jokes. Few people are asking about funny RA stories. My dad mentioned the Christian Mingle story.
I think someone said something about flaming hot Cheetos.
Someone said something about flaming hot Cheetos, like, man, that shit hurts.
Enough said.
That, yeah, I don't even know what to. That's not even a topic to talk about. It does hurt though. I've had flaming hot Cheetos and they're hot. You don't want to. That shit does hurt. All right. So, all right. I need to think of a good. Did I have a lunch partner that? Good question. Did I have a lunch partner that semester? So it was long enough ago that I don't remember, but I'm gonna be willing to guess, just based on the other context clues, probably not. All right. Funny RA stories. I might have to think about that one. I know there were probably many, but yeah, I did have lunch partners, just not specifically in response to that Facebook status. All right, so I'm gonna go into the dad jokes now. All right, so this is a segment called Jokes with Dad. So basically, I'm gonna say some dad jokes, and then when I get to the punchline, I'm gonna do this to make myself look more like a dad. And this is 100% authentic, as these are all jokes that I have actually heard dads say. A dad is riding in the car with his kid. As they turn into the parking lot, his kid says, "Do you think we can park anywhere?" Dad says, "I'd recommend picking a parking space." Dad is driving and pulls into a parking lot that is almost completely empty. Dad says, "I hope we can find a space." In the dead of winter, a dad and his kid are talking about their cars. The kid says, "I heard that it's important to run your car in the winter so it doesn't have any issues." Dad says, "That's right. You don't want the engine to get carthritis." A dad reads a story in the newspaper about a person who got their air stuck in the car's exhaust pipe. That one's messed up. I think that's supposed to be their arm. I obviously don't know how to type. There should be air. If you don't know anything about cars, there should be air in the exhaust pipe. I'm gonna start over because that's not how the joke goes.
That's legit.
A dad reads a story in a newspaper about a person who got their arm stuck in their car's exhaust pipe. Dad says, "I bet that was exhausting." Mom and Dad are at home, wondering where Scott is and when he'll be home. Mom says, "Why don't you try calling Scott?" Dad says, "Scott!"
He's done it.
A dad is out at a restaurant with his family. The restaurant is mostly empty. As the host is walking them to their table, Dad says, "I'm surprised you all could find a table for us." A dad and his family are driving past a cemetery. His kid says, "I didn't know there was a cemetery there." Dad says, "Yep, People are dying to get in there. That one's copyright Terry Miller. A kid needs to remember to stop at Target later. The kid says, "Hey, Dad, can you remind me to stop at Target later?" Dad immediately responds, "Don't forget to stop at Target later." A dad asks his kid a question. The kid says, "I'm thinking." Dad says, "Don't hurt yourself."
You would say that.
Mom and Dad are hosting people for dinner and are setting up the dining room table. Dad asks, "How many chairs do you need?" Mom says, "7." Dad says, "Well, that's an odd number." A dad is watching the news. The news reporter mentions the coronavirus. Dad says, "That coronavirus sounds nasty. If it was a Yingling virus, we'd be talking." And this last one is also copyright Terry Miller, March 25th, 2020. A dad and his son are talking about the coronavirus. The son says, "Yeah, we're completely out of toilet paper." Dad says, "You could always run out to Home Depot and pick up some sandpaper." So those are the dad jokes. I did hear, there was one comment earlier about how we can stay, I can't find it, but it was something about how we can stay calm in these troubled times. I feel like as I'm scrolling through saying I can't find it, that makes me sound like a really popular, like I have so many comments that I can't find that one. Oh, how do we keep calm in these times? So, I mean, I don't really have a foolproof method. I feel like I mean, I know part of why I wanted to do this was because I felt like I had a talent that people hopefully like. So if you fall in that category too, whether that's music or comedy or motivational speaking, I feel like you could always there's always a good opportunity to do that. I would say staying in touch with loved ones virtually, like over the phone or on Snapchat or not, well, yeah, Snapchat or Skype, or yeah, it's called Skype, that's what it's called. Or Zoom or whatever it is, that can help. I would also say, in the spirit of comedy, I know Netflix has a lot of comedy specials that you could watch. So that's I feel like there are a lot of good things that you can do. That's my advice. So I know the other request was funny RA stories. And one of my current RAs was one of the people who asked for a funny RA story. So I feel like I should at least be a little bit careful with what I share. Well, there was one time that I did an event. I can think of a couple stories. There was one time that I did an event. I called it Mural and a Movie. This was the first RA program I ever did, and we came together. We watched a movie. I put paper on the wall, and everybody could I had markers with me, and everybody could write on the mural, and we made a little mural together. So at the end of the year, when I took the mural off of the wall, I noticed that all of the marker went through the paper onto the wall. So
That's terrible.
so I hope it was worth it for those 8 students that came to come to that program. I mean, the classic RA story is when you're walking around and you can tell just from listening that there's a big party going on in a room, but then you knock on the door and everybody inside the room's like, "Shh, hide it." If you want to tell your RA that you're drinking in the room, that's a good way to do it. There was one time I was walking around the building doing rounds, and there was a student came out of their room, made eye contact with me, turned around and literally said to the people in the room, "Shh, the RA's coming." Like most of the stuff that happened as an RA, I was just like, I can't, like, you bring this upon yourself. Like, I would not have. Oh, here's one that happened recently. I was walking. I was in. Well, I was on campus. Like, I just happened to be like in the hallway, and there were a few students who walked by. One of, and when I say recently, as if I was an RA recently. This was in my second year as an RA, which was still like 9 years ago. But so I don't know. But that's more recent than that mural in a movie program. But I was. This actually, things like this, similar things like this, have actually happened more than once. But I was in the hallway, and there were a few students who walked right past me. One of them was holding like a mug in their hand, and as like she saw me, and as she walked past me, she was like, "It's apple juice, don't worry." And not even joking, I never thought twice about what was in that mug until you said that. But that was yeah, that's another example. Oh, Kelsey, you had a student answer the door with a beer. That's bold. That is bold. That is bold.
Strategy, let's
So-
see how it takes out.
Let's try to remember a girl soccer
So-
team or something.
But yeah, so that's all I have. So I would, yeah, if there's anything else, last chance to put comments. I'll scroll up again to see if I missed anything. But last chance to put comments if there's anything that you want me to talk about. A lot of people have made comments like "so true," but at this point, I forget what I was talking about at the time that you said that. But it probably was true because I don't like to lie. So, but I feel like that's about it. I don't have anything else to talk about. I appreciate you all coming to watch. I hope that you'll stay safe and healthy. And if you do have a studio audience of 7 people with you, make sure that they're not showing symptoms. Yep, make sure they're not showing symptoms and that they're staying 6 feet away from each other. Yep, practice social distancing. Do what everybody's telling you to do. If you want to tell me I did a great job, then go for it because you all are on the computer, so I don't have any idea if you were laughing or not. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Christian Mingle one. That's yeah. So sorry, Dad. I'm gonna and Mom. Yeah, that's their favorite. So I'm gonna tell this quick Christian Mingle story, and then I'll leave it at that. So I don't know if any of you have tried online dating. I know I did back in the day, back in my single days, and I was one of those people who actually put serious time and effort into his Plenty of Fish profile, as if some really hot girl was gonna see it and be like, "Oh my God,
Use your glasses on for that.
he is sensitive, he is kind, and he loves hugs. We're gonna have sex tonight." But that never worked for me. But yeah, but even to this day, I still get emails from Christian Mingle trying to recruit me to join, which is odd for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm Jewish. Second of all, I'm engaged, and my fiance and I have been together for 6.5 years. And third, never in my life have I ever visited Christian Mingle. So that leads me to believe that, like, I don't have any idea what criteria they were using when they made the determination that I was somebody that they were going to reach out to. Like, were they just like, okay, is he single? Nope, he's actually getting married in a few months. Okay, cross that one off. Is he Christian? Not even a little bit. Never has been, as a matter of fact. Does he, let's see, what other criteria can we have? Does he like to mingle? I don't know. I've never asked him, but maybe. Great, send him an invite. He might meet one of the 3 criteria. That's a .333 batting average. And he's an Orioles fan, so he's not used to players that have batting averages even close to that high. So So that's the Christian mingle story. They still reach out to me, even though I am not single, not ready to mingle, and not Christian. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
And it's been
Wash your
fun.
hands.
Yeah, wash your hands.
That boy Scott.